So who have we got in this race then? That's the most important thing. Well, on pole position, a name that one or two of you will be familiar with, I'm sure, if you follow Formula 4 racing at all. Joey Foster, double festival winner, lines up on pole position, car 277. He's been competing on and off in the National Championship this year, but generally speaking, has been focusing more so, really, on the end of season festival and Walter Hayes Trophy as well, which is taking place in a week's time. And the red and black car then that will line up in pole position, definitely starting as one of the favourites. Alongside him though, Max Maserati, who is also an extremely quick driver and has surprised some, I think it's fair to say, with his performance in qualifying, coming within only a few tenths of a second of Joey Foster's pole position time. But Joey did set that pole position time of a 50.327 right at the end of the session. His final lap, actually, within the session was Joey Foster's fastest, and he therefore got the pole position for the heat. But they're both in strong positions, no doubt, coming into this race. On row number 2 then, we have Kieran Haggerty, the 2014 Scottish Formula 4 champion, former British Formula 4 and British GT racer, and alongside him Josh Green, again with an impressive qualifying effort for the number 21 driver, who is one of the members of the always impressive Cliff Dempsey Racing Team USA scholarship. So we'll keep an eye to our American and indeed Canadian friends, because we've also got the Cliff Dempsey Team Canada scholarship drivers here as well, in the shape of Jonathan Woolridge and Zachary Vanier. So we'll be keeping an eye to all 4 of the Cliff Dempsey scholarship drivers, all of whom tend to be towards the sharp end every year. Michael McPherson then is on row number 3 alongside Matt Cowley, double US Formula 1600 champion and the national pre-90 Formula 4 champion in 2015 over here in the UK. He's been off racing in European GT4 this year. Callum Crawley and David McCulloch are on the 4th row. David is the 2019 Irish Formula 4 champion. So you see what I mean about strength in depth here. We've got champions up and down the order on this grid, and not all of them guaranteed necessarily to make it straight through into the semis. Row number 5, case in point, is Josh Smith, the winner of this event 12 months ago, but he had a troubled qualifying session. We never quite got to the bottom of what the issue was for Josh Smith, but the man who won the festival in 2018 starts from 9th on the grid and only got really a handful of laps in. He only completed about half the session and set his fastest lap on his 3rd lap of that session. And Josh, therefore, the number 1 car, man who's been competing in a Tolman Motorsports McLaren GT4 car in the British GT Championship this year, lines up all the way down in 9th on the grid and on the bubble in a way. He's in the danger zone. Anything can go wrong when you're stuck in the midfield, and Josh will be hoping against hope that doesn't happen to him. Then it's Adam Higgins who rounds out the top 10 ahead of Tom Hawkins and Jonathan Woolridge, who I said is one of those is the other Cliff Dempsey USA scholarship driver. So both of the USA drivers are in this race. 4th for Josh Green, 12th for Jonathan Woolridge, and I know they've got a lot of people watching from back over in the US. Good morning, I suppose, to all of you who have got up bright and early today to enjoy the racing here from Brands Hatch. I know you'll all be cheering your drivers on. Jonathan, though, with a bit of work to do, but as long as he stays in that top 16, he should be okay. Then it's Logan Hanna and Adam's Fathers, followed by the top 2 Super Classic drivers, Peter Lucas and Peter Daly, who share the 8th row. Kevin McClurg is next, ahead of Andrew Pryke, then Stephen Mahwini and Matthew Skelton, with Simon Bruce and Jordan Harrison at the back. So we will have, by the end of this race, our first semi-finalists. 6 drivers will go through into the last chance race. Who will win, though, and lock themselves into a front row position for their semi-final tomorrow? That is the big question here, with Joey Foster on pole position, Max Maserati alongside him, and Kieran Haggerty with Josh Green on the 2nd row of the grid. Very slippery conditions. We've had some more rain that's been falling just in the build-up to this race, and that is going to add to the drama and intrigue even more. The lights go off then. We're away and racing in the aimshop.com Formula Ford Festival. A good start made by Matt Cowley. Look, the yellow and black number 77 car from the 3rd row of the grid. He immediately dived to the inside of the American driver Josh Green, but it's 3 abreast for the race leading to Paddock Hill Bend, and Joey Foster may not be the leader as they come out of the corner. No, he just about is, but Matt Cowley, out of absolutely nowhere, comes up the inside into 2nd position. What a start from the man that's been competing in Euro GT4 this year. He's into P2 2 already. Phenomenal stuff, and he's managed to get himself ahead of Michael McPherson, Josh Green, Kieran Haggerty and Max Marzarati in the space of 1 corner. Phenomenal stuff. Haggerty, I think, is in 3rd, Marzarati 4th, 5th position for Josh Green. And is that Josh Smith into 6th position? It's definitely an Oldfield car. Is it the number 1 car that's broken through into the top 6? If it is, then he has had another storming getaway and will be definitely looking to try and get even further up the grid if he can. Through clearways they come then for the first time. Is that Josh Smith? I think it might be the number 1 car, you know, that's got himself into the lead. Pat will confirm it though as they come through to complete lap number 1 of 15 in heat number 1 of the aimshop.com Formula Ford Festival. And already the slicing and dicing begins as they come across the line. It is Josh Smith. Josh Smith, the black car, then into 6th position, just ahead of the Irish champion from this year, David McCulloch, in 7th position. But Matt Cowley is a man on a mission. He pulls to the outside of Joey Foster, the race leader, into Druid's corner, and Matt Cowley looking to try and secure his position at the front of a semi-final grid tomorrow. And right at this stage, he looks a little bit quicker than Joey Foster does in front of him. They both take the wide line through Graham Hill Bend, trying to carry the speed down the Cooper Straight. And Matt Cowley is in the slipstream. He's got the race leader in his sights, and well, the rates of progress that he made on the opening lap, you would think it's almost only a matter of time before he gets through. But Joey Foster, one of the most experienced drivers on the grid, he first won this event back in 2003, 16 years ago that he first won the Brands Hatch Formula Ford Festival, and as recently as 2017 he managed to win it again. So Joey Foster, make no mistake, is a formidable opponent. Matt Cowley though, who has never won the Brands Hatch Formula Ford Festival but has had success elsewhere in Formula Ford racing around the world, in fact, looks as though he's a little bit faster at the moment. Takes a nice run out of Paddock Hill Bend. He's just set the fastest lap as if to prove the point, Matt Cowley, and he looks to the outside once again into Druid's corner. As much as he'd like to win the race, he also knows that it would be absolutely stupid to get tangled up with Joey Foster now and end up sending them both out of the race, because that would almost ruin their chances realistically of making it through to the final in a strong position tomorrow. Not necessarily the end of the world, I suppose. You can overtake in Formula Ford racing, and that's exactly what Matt Cowley's trying to do now. To the outside into Surtees' corner. This is a really brave move to try and make. And Joey Foster, can he hold him off? Yes, he has just about. But Matt Cowley very nearly had his car fully alongside there, and if he had have done, he'd have had the inside line for Clearway's corner. They're delaying each other now though, and they're being caught by Josh Green, who's into 3rd position. Here comes Cowley though, up the inside of the race leader Joey Foster across the start-finish line. Absolutely neck and neck as they break the timing, being 3 laps completed. And could this be a new race leader? Matt Cowley's got the inside line and goes into the lead of the race. Phenomenal stuff. Foster though will try to fight back if he can, gets a better exit from the corner but can't get up the inside, and Matthew Cowley has the lead of heat number 1 here, the HEDTEC heat here at the Brands Hatch Festival, and he's out in front. That was a timely move to make as well though, because as I said, the American driver Josh Green has fought his way back into 3rd position and is closing in rapidly on the top 2. They head out of Graham Hill Bend, back down the Cooper Straight. Foster already slipping away though from the new race leader. It's Green in 3rd though, who just set the fastest lap, a 1 minute 2.152, and Josh Green is on an absolute mission here. He very much looks as though he's got the pace to challenge for 2nd. Could he even win the heat? Well, we'll find out what his real pace is now, I suppose, compared to Matt Cowley, because Cowley in clean air is sideways as he comes over the grid hatchings through Clark Curve, and Matt Cowley sets a lap time on lap number 4 of a 1 minute 1.8, which is immediately beaten by Josh Green, only slightly, but Josh is still the quickest driver on the track, even though Matt Cowley is out in clean air. So this is significant here. If Green can get past Foster quickly, he might have the pace to chase down the race leader. Looks to the inside into Druid's corner. Foster was always going to turn in front of him though, and Josh saw that and sensibly backed out of it. These 3, by the way, are 3 seconds clear of Kieran Haggerty in 4th, 5th now for Josh Smith though. So Josh, not only is he getting himself well and truly into an automatic qualifying position, but he's also starting to really advance his grid position now for the semi-finals. He's ahead of David McCulloch now. The big loser is Max Marzarati, who, according to my timing screen, is down to 11th place now. So Marzarati, who started 2nd, has unfortunately, it would appear, had a moment somewhere and fallen now outside of the top 10. Well, deep breath everybody, this is only our first heat of the weekend, and what a race it's turning into already. 1/3 race distance about to be completed, 5 laps down, 10 more to go, and Joey Foster under increasing pressure now from Josh Green, who of course is no longer lapping as quickly as the race leader because he's getting held up a little bit by the double festival champion. And he needs to try and find a way through as quickly as he can here. Comes out of Paddock Hill Bend. He'll look to the inside once again. This time, does he commit? He tries to, and he will get to the apex first. Josh Green, though, can he find the grip through Druid's corner? Apparently, that newly resurfaced inside line is yielding quite a lot of grip in the wet, and it's yielded enough grip for Josh Green, who goes through into second position with a fantastic move. It's not often you can say that you outbrake Joey Foster in a Formula Ford race. Yeah, that's exactly what Josh Green just did. He's into P2, and now we need to monitor the lap times with interest. Can he catch Matt Cowley and challenge for the victory in this first heat of the weekend? Up until the point that he caught Joey Foster, he was quicker than Cowley, but can he now put his head down and in the remaining, well, what will now be 9 laps of the race, catch and then overhaul the man who has an awful lot more experience around Brands Hatch than Josh does. Josh, of course, making his first ever appearance here to the Kent circuit, and he's learning as he goes, but in these conditions that's not an easy thing to do. So the starting point then is 2 seconds, 2.081 to be precise, at the end of lap 6. Can that start to come down? On the previous lap, even with an overtake, Josh Green was only 1/10 of a second slower than the race leader, so you would imagine that he probably lost more than 1/10 of a second whilst dicing away with Foster. So in theory, he should have the speed now to continue to chase down the cars in front. Behind them, by the way, we've not seen it, but Josh Smith is into 4th place now, ahead of Kieran Haggerty. So Josh Smith, the reigning festival winner, started 9th after that troubled qualifying session, but he's now broken into 4th position, albeit 6 seconds behind that group. There he is, look, the black number 1 car ahead of the black number 4 of Kieran Haggerty. We've also got the the other Cliff Dempsey USA scholarship driver Canada driver, excuse me, of Jonathan Woolridge in this group. There's a car in the gravel though at Clearways, and in fact it's been into the wall as well. That I think might be number 49, Jordan Harrison, who my timing screen is telling me we've lost. So Jordan Harrison in the Royale, unfortunately off the road. Is it number 49? Yes it is, with bent rear suspension, bodywork missing as well. He's made fairly substantial contact with the barriers. And now is that going to require a safety car? That would change everything if we got a safety car, because that 6-second gap that I just mentioned between Foster in 3rd and Smith in 4th would disappear in a flash should the safety car make an appearance on the circuit. Fingers crossed though in a way that that doesn't happen, because we've got a fascinating race developing already at the front of the field, with Matt Cowley leading the way now by 2.5 seconds over Josh Green in 2nd position. Green was not quite as quick as him, 4/10 slower in fact on the previous lap, but it may of course be that he slowed down a little bit more for the yellow flags than Matt Cowley did. Just a possibility. Through comes the midfield group then, heading on to the end of another lap. This will be the completion of lap number 8 of the race. So we're into the second half of the race. The safety car, I can tell you, is on standby but has not yet been scrambled. So if race control can get us through to the end of the race without the need for a safety car and just cover this incident of the yellow flags, then they will do, because they don't want to interrupt the racing if they can help it. So the battle we're watching on screen now then loosely is the one for 4th position, although Josh Smith in 4th there, you can see is getting away from into 5th position. There has been a change then, because that's Crawley now. That's Callum Crawley, number 79 car that's coming through in the Kevin Mills racing spectrum, and he's into 5th place at the expense of Haggerty. So really it's Haggerty, Higgins, Woolridge, McPherson, Maserati, David McCullough. They're all in this big queue, and a couple of those drivers, particularly Maserati and McCullough, we expected to be a bit further towards the pointy end, but they both had their various issues in this first heat, and they're still within qualifying positions, but only just. Out of interest, by the way, the final driver at the moment that would qualify automatically for a semi-final berth is Logan Hanna, down in 16th position, and he actually has a 7-second cushion over Adam Fathers in 17th place. So it looks as though the top 16 are pretty settled now, unless we see anyone else fall off the road. So the white and blue car then diving up the inside here, trying to make a move into Paddock Hill Bend. That's Michael McPherson trying to find a way ahead of the 23 of Jonathan Woolridge, who I remind you started down in 12th position, but the Canadian driver has worked his way beautifully through into 8th place. He is under pressure though. McPherson back up the inside again to Druid's corner, but the door is slammed in his face there. Well, they both drift a bit wide of the apex, but they will, I think, avoid contact, which is the main thing, and they can back out the other side in one piece. Down in the braking zone at Graham Bend they go, all just scrabbling for grip there, and Woolridge nearly getting into the back of the treble 1 car. That's Adam Higgins, who's the blue car, who is now in a way the cork in the bottle here. He's got Woolridge, McPherson and McCulloch all right behind him. There's Matt Cowley, your race leader. There is Josh Green in second, so the gap you can see is still going up actually between the two of them. And third place for Joey Foster, car out wide. Now that was someone, I think, from that sort of 5th and 6th place battle, wasn't it? It might have been David McCulloch, possibly. We'll try and get that confirmed in a moment or two. Through go Higgins, Woolridge and McPherson. It was David McCulloch. So David McCulloch, the 2019 Irish champion, has made a bit of a mess of Clearway's corner and has rejoined in 11th place, but he's dropped now behind Max Marzarati then, who gets his way back into the top 10. There's McCulloch dropping down the hill through Paddock Hill Bend. As this battle continues to rage on, and McPherson once again pulls alongside, and this time might have enough momentum to go to the outside of Woolridge into Greybill Bend. So Woolridge combats that by going up the inside of Higgins, and they almost tangle wheels. Oh, wheel to wheel off the corner, but through he'll go. Oh, the front nose cone there flies off the Woolridge car. And Jonathan Woolridge, that will have caught his attention, no doubt, and the drivers behind him, but he is up a position now into 7th place, is Jonathan Woolridge, on what has been a brilliant drive through the field. Now they're trying to negotiate some lap traffic as well. Adam Higgins falling back into the clutches rather of Michael McPherson. In what has been a topsy-turvy heat so far, it's on to its 12th lap of the race now, so we are getting through to the final innings here, so to speak, of this first heat, sponsored by HEDTEC. And as they drop down through this daunting first corner at Paddock Hill Bend once again, still lots of positions up for grabs here, and as I made the point earlier on, that gives you extra grid positions for your semi-final tomorrow, and particularly if it's dry tomorrow, overtaking maybe a little bit at a premium. So the higher up the order you could start for your semi-final, obviously the more chance you have of getting through into the final in a strong position. So you've got to be thinking almost 3 steps ahead, even at this stage of the weekend. You're in a heat race, but you're already thinking about, if you get through to the final, how far up that grid you can get yourself. So through Surtees they go. The leader, by the way, Matt Cowley, has just come across the start-finish line to complete his 12th lap, so has 3 laps to go. He's 4.5 seconds ahead of Josh Green, who I get the picture now has sort of decided to back off and secure his 2nd place. He's still got Joey Foster 3rd, Josh Smith in 4th position, sort of matching their times at the moment. And in 5th position then is Callum Crawley, 6th Kieran Haggerty, 7th for Woolridge, 8th Higgins, 9th McPherson, and 10th for Marzarati, with David McCulloch, the white car, just there at the top of the shot going into Paddock Hill Bend, the first person outside the top 10. We've had some changing down the order though, because now the man on the bubble in 16th position, having lost a few positions, is number 7 Peter Lucas, who was the highest placed super classic cars, basically for the older cars in the race. He was the highest placed on the grid, 15th overall, but I think he's possibly lost out. Yeah, Peter Daly now, who's one of the senior clerk of the courses for the BRSCC and indeed the British GT Championship, has worked his way right the way through into 12th place overall. And he said to me earlier on today he was relishing the idea of a wet race. Oh, Josh Smith, and almost tangles there with the number 70 car, which was a lap down, by the way, of Andrew Pryke, and it's Andrew that gets eased off the road, but Josh was trying to put a lap on him, and Andrew unfortunately was occupying the exact bit of road that Josh Smith wanted to use, and there was only ever going to be one winner there. Josh sort of bullied his way through, as he has to do, because he's still under pressure from Callum Crawley behind him. Callum, the man from Gloucester, in his Spectrum, trying to work his way through into the top 4 again, and so Josh Smith can't afford to back off at all, even in traffic. Been settling down a little bit in a way at the front of the field, but this battle's still going on between Kieran Haggerty and Jonathan Woolridge, who is not done yet. Look, he may be missing some bodywork on the front of his car, but the Team Canada scholarship driver, run out of Cliff Dempsey Racing, is still trying to march further forward up the order. Meanwhile, the race leader, Matt Cowley, comes across the start-finish line then to begin. To see the checkered flag. They've thrown the checkered flag a lap early by the looks of it, so we've only got 14 laps in the end, and it is going to be Matt Cowley then that gets the race victory. So Matt Cowley, a little earlier than planned, but I think it was probably going to be his victory anyway, has taken the win in the first heat here at the aimshop.com Formula Ford Festival, sponsored by HEDTEC, and it was a pretty dominant win once he got to the front, but what a brilliant drive it was to get there. Cowley then, the second of the yellow and black cars in your shot. That car is Adam Fathers, who hasn't yet finished the race, but the one behind him is our race winner, Matt Cowley. and he is one of several candidates, I think, for driver of the race. What a performance that was. Second place goes to Josh Green, the American driver, having started 4th, but that he actually fell back from there a little bit at the start of the race, and that's what makes the comeback to second place all the more impressive. And he also set the fastest lap along the way, a 1 minute 1.802. Third place for Joey Foster then, the man that started on pole position. 4th place for Josh Smith. 5th place for Callum Crawley. 6th Kieran Haggerty. 7th place for Michael McPherson. And 8th for Adam Higgins. 9th was Max Maserati, having started on the front row. 10th for David McCulloch, having gone off at Clearways. 11th place then, brilliant result that for Peter Daly, the leading Super Classic driver, running out of the Super Classic B division, with 12th position going the way of number 28 Tom Hawkins. 13th was 71 Kevin McClurg. 14th for number 7 Peter Lucas, who was second of the Super Classic cars. 15th place for number 36 Logan Hanna, and 16th place Adam Fathers. So Adam Fathers, the last of the drivers to be automatically confirmed in the semi-final. Now I'm pausing here because my timing screen is suggesting to me that Jonathan Woolridge didn't finish the race. Now I can't confirm or deny that because we didn't see him cross the start-finish line, but he's been classified in 17th, which would be the first driver outside of an automatic semi-final berth, but we'll try and get some confirmation. We believe he did get through to the flag, so it might be that that's a timing glitch, which we'll get to the bottom of as and when we get our official results, and I'll try to keep you up to date with those. I'll try and get a printout of our official result a bit later on. Right, let's head down to the pit lane then, where we can hear from Joe Tanner with the winner of our first heat of the weekend.
First was car number 39, that was Tim Harvey. Second was number 10, Henry Sharp.
Tomorrow, just absolute dominance.
Yeah, I mean, because most of the testing this weekend's been in the rain so far. We've not been in the car all year. I feel more at home in the rain at the minute, yeah, so it was great that it rained for me, because obviously qualifying didn't go too well.
You've obviously found something with the setup that's going to work for you if we get this rain tomorrow. At the start, Joey was putting up quite a defensive fight. It wasn't going to be easy, and you've got to monitor the risk that you take with him.
Yeah, exactly. It's only the heat at the minute, so Joey's obviously very quick. So just kind of monitoring what he's doing, where everyone else is behind, and then if I saw an opportunity, I was going to go for it, but not kind of force the issue.
Well done.
Perfect, thanks.